So last year when you were trying to decide to come back to school or go to the NFL draft, how conflicted were you?
I was conflicted. I was in my own head, but it'll play out how it play out. It's God's plan. I'm not too worried about it no more.
What triggered you to come back?
Just talks with my family, talks with my brother. He's at the next level, so I mean, it is what it is.
It seemed like every week you were changing your mind as the games went on. You had a good game, I'm going. I had a bad game, I wasn't going.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was. It was a roller coaster. Like, I felt like I was ready to leave, and then I'll have games where I felt like, yeah, I might need to stay here, but it is what it is now.
Was there one or two things you felt like you really needed to work on to make that jump?
At the beginning of the season, I would say it was tackling, and now I'll just say being consistent with my technique, consistent my play effort, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The experience your brother's had in the NFL, how much advice has he given you through that process?
He's given me a lot. I mean, I talk to him every day. I trained with him before we came back, so that was good. He's just been a good help.
There doesn't seem to be any shortage of confidence from the DBs this year. I mean, more so than I think I've seen over Jonathan's 5 years. Is that just coming from you guys know that you're ready to do something special this season, or? Yeah,
I think we're ready to do something special this season. I think last year we've had the same confidence that we could play. We know we could play with anybody in the pack, anybody in the country. So we feel like we're just as good as anybody else.
What is it? How has it helped you guys to have a dedicated cornerbacks coach?
It's helped us a lot just with our technique. Blue coaching the whole room. He's done a great job, but sometimes we can't work on the fine details. So it's been great.
Give me an instance that where you feel like it's
just like misplacing my feet when I'm stepping and kicking, or if I'm motoring. Like Coach Perk could catch those little things.
Yeah.
Apologize if you already hit on this, but I'm just curious how much growth you've seen out of Luke, specifically in having a guy with that frame. Kind of what's that like, having him on the offense to kind of go against?
I think he was good last year. I don't think I really seen any growth. He's been doing the same things. He's just coming alive more. Teagan's kind of out of the picture, so he's taking on a bigger role, but he's been great.
You and Rejzohn like to go at each other sometimes in practice and let each other know how you're feeling. What does that say about the competition between the wide receivers and the secondary?
They're going to come out, they're going to give us their best, and we're going to give them our best, but I mean, it's no love lost when we get in the locker room. That's my brother, so yeah.
At the same time, the secondary, you guys are returning so many, faces from last year. What has that been like in preparation for this season?
It's been great. It's hard when you already know the stuff to come in the meeting and try to hone back in on it. So we've been coming in, taking notes on stuff we've took notes on for years now. Yeah.
Have you set a limit, or I shouldn't say a limit, a goal of interceptions that you want this season?
No, I don't got no goal. Those are limitations, so I don't set goals. I just play.
What's been the area that you feel like you've already grown the most so far in camp?
Press tech and just maturing on the field, off the field.
And what work do you think you have to do before you hit that first game on this field?
Just continue to do what I've been doing, just being consistent.
Outside of all the experience that returns in the secondary, what gives you confidence that your group could take a step forward this year?
I think the attack-based front is definitely going to help us. The ball got to come out a little quicker, but I think that would be great.
Has Coach Bray brought any change to the change of philosophy or game plan in the back end?
Yeah, I think the philosophy's changed a lot even since he took over last year. It's just attack-based.
Big scrimmage on Friday. It's been a long time, probably since the spring game where you've kind of been in that scrimmage situation. Mm-hmm. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm just most looking forward to us flying around and making plays.
So when at the end of the season, when Rejzohn was trying to decide whether to stay or go, what was the conversation like between you two?
I think that was a conversation that he had to have with his mom, his family. His brother's in the league, so I'm going to support him any way that I can. And I think that was my role as his coach, is to support him, give him the facts, and then he kind of make the decision that's best for him.
Where did you guys feel like he needed to improve to make that jump to the next level?
I think skill set wise, he has it. He's always had it. He's played the position. He knows the ins and outs. I think this year he's focused on bigger, stronger, faster. Put some weight on. He put some work on in the weight room. So I think he did a good job off-season addressing just his body and his approach to this season.
Yeah.
We've already asked a couple of the players about the whole orange hair thing, but I think you're the only coach that we've seen that's rocking it. Tell us a little bit more about that.
They came to me and say, "Blue, I'm in." So at this point, it's hard to fight it. So I dyed the hair. But it's kind of neat that we all got together and you see guys that's supporting each other, really.
Seems like you had a lot of players, especially on the secondary, that came back because they thought that they kind of had unfinished business after last season. How do you think that motivation has kind of drove you guys into this fall camp?
You can see it. You can see it. Guys are sharp. Guys are locked in. The last time we hit the grass as a unit, didn't have the desired outcome that we wanted. And guys, it was great for guys to have that because it now shows, hey, this is what happens when we don't handle business. And now we got to live this for the next couple of months. So it was good. I think because of it, we've gotten better. Like the guys are gotten better because they don't want to feel that feeling again.
You made a point last year that about interceptions. That's kind of how you measure DBs. Do you feel like this group in general is better at that a year later, and in what way are they better?
I think we got guys that has good ball skills. I think most everybody can catch. You know, you go out with your kid or someone, they can catch. But being able to judge the ball and helmet on and going through hands and things like that as the ball is coming to me and still catch, I think that's ball skills. And when you look at the guys that you have in the secondary, you have guys that have good ball skills. And so I think that's the start. Guys that feel comfortable catching the ball and that can actually catch the ball. So it makes it exciting when the ball's in the air and you know, like, my DB has now turned to wide receiver to get up and get the ball. Like, I think that's the difference.
Yeah. How much of that is innate and how much is taught? Is there any specific drills you brought to kind of work on,
I think that's something that you got to continue to kind of develop and kind of put guys in situations where it's not as smooth and not as clean in terms of catching the ball. So getting them moving around, obstacles in your face, those type of things, I think helps in kind of developing ball skills.
How do you feel like your guys have adjusted to Coach Bray implementing really what he wants on defense? We were talking to the offense yesterday, and they were talking about how much of a chess match it is. And so from your side, from the defensive side, how do you think they're picking it up?
I think it fits us, man. It fits us. It turns us loose. It allows us to play on an edge. It allows us to play fast. I think for our guys, their skill set, that's a perfect matchup. Coach Bray's style of ball and the way that our guys play.
And Catan has really been flying all over the place here in this camp. What have you seen from him?
I think him, along with the rest of those guys, they're just sharp. They're super sharp. Their attention to detail has gotten better. They're trying to take the next step in perfecting their game. So he's on it, and then it helps that we focus as a unit and individually. So I think it makes us better.
You got a really veteran group. Any of the younger guys stood out to you?
Yeah, so that's kind of the deal. Like, you got so many of the older guys that's playing great ball. Sometimes the young dudes can kind of get lost in it. But then when you start to watch the tape and see these young men that's continuing to make strides, Skylar Thomas, Ronald Harge, Brant Cooper. So you got some young dudes that's going to be here that you're kind of excited about.
You tend to ride two cornerbacks a lot during games, the top two guys. How hard is it going to be to get Rejzohn and Alex off the field?
I don't think it'll be tough at all. It's about the totality of the season. So we definitely want to be our best as we're getting into November, the later part of the season. So just those guys understanding, like, hey, I'm going to play ball, but we're chasing something far greater than just the immediate future.
As far as just the sheer amount of guys that you have coming back from last year, guys who look like they could play and potentially make that too deep, that depth is a good problem to have, right? Having potentially too many guys.
No, I don't think so. I think depth is great. How we play the game, and as small as our bodies are, sometimes we go down, and we can go from having the best depth, the most depth, and then that next game or so, like we've taken some casualties, if you will. So having young guys that are developed, that's ready to go, that's kind of chomping in the bit, is critical. So when you add a guy like Anthony Perkins that can really detail young guys and really help, like they're growing at a pace that helps us if we should need them right now.
You're not coaching him, obviously, but having your guys go against Luke Musgrave, just a guy with that stature.
Oh, he's problematic. That dude is absolutely problematic. You want to talk about a big guy that has great ball skills, that have great route running ability, that his skill set is kind of like, it's a mismatch problem for a lot of teams, including ours. It forces us to address that issue. So he's been great, being that he's on our campus, because we get the opportunity to spar with him on a day in, day out basis.
Do you rotate a lot of guys on him? What's the kind of mentality there when he's kind of?
No, it's kind of like when whoever's on him, when he's in there, that's kind of who gets that opportunity. And so we try to maximize that opportunity, and we try to win when we have him, because we know he's definitely a guy that commands our attention.
You're big on takeaways, big on interceptions. Do you set a limit or a number that you want these guys to achieve, or is it go after the ball every single time?
You know, I used to, but then I'm always pissed off. So I let them set it, and then when we get it, great. When we don't, I highlight times where this was an opportunity that maybe we missed. So as many opportunities as we get, I think that's kind of the key, as far as that's when we have to maximize. That, not chase. You know, if you say we're going to get 3 picks and you find guys that's chasing those 3 picks, maybe they're getting out of position and things of that nature. So whatever we can get, we got to make sure we maximize the opportunities that we get.
So, Simon, we've heard from linebackers and defensive backs about, Coach Bray's system, how it's a lot more aggressive. How are you seeing that kind of come to fruition on the D-line?
Oh, we're allowed to use go, which is what we're meant to do. Especially all the guys in the room, it fits us way better. You go forward, be aggressive, be able to play, and just go, it's really nice.
Rejzohn just told us how much that helps the defensive backs, because the quarterback doesn't have as much time to operate. You guys, you're kind of working in coordination with that group, I assume.
Yeah, of course. Like, you always have something called pressure sacks, as well as just if we get pressure, there might be bad throws from the quarterback. So of course everything works. Like, every day we see they might have really good coverage, we get a sack because we're so aggressive, or they get a pick because of a bad ball because we had pressure. So we're helping each other, and that's just how our defense works, is everybody helping each other.
Have you seen a change in the mentality on the back end overall? I mean, you guys talking about yours on the front, but...
Mentality, what way?
Just how they're getting after it. I mean, this aggressive style.
Aggressive style is, like, for our... And I actually asked Coach Blue about this yesterday when we sat down at dinner. I was like, what's the big difference for you? And this is what we play football. And for them, I don't know exactly what he said, so I don't know. But, like, it's not, they're DBs. They still play like DBs. They still drop into coverage. Of course, we have our pressures. We had those before too. But for them, it's not.
I guess more just in terms of how they're attacking the ball. We've heard a lot about turnovers, stuff like that. I know they're not going to
attacking the ball. Yeah, okay. I see attacking the ball when it's in the air. Attacking the ball when it's in the receiver's hands. Okay.
Right.
I thought you meant like pressures, like blitzing off the edges and stuff. No, but we see it all the time, like way more turnovers, especially compared to the last fall camp. Our numbers have increased when it comes to fumbles, fumble recoveries, picks, everything.
What's really driving the secondary right now? You seem like pretty optimistic, like pretty fired up, pretty ready to go. Would you say that's the attitude of the whole team? Like, what's driving you guys to really be better?
To win. Really, it's to win. That's what we're here for. We went to a bowl game yesterday. We've seen an upward curve ever since the new coaching staff, and it's the next step is to win everything.
How have you felt like the battles have been against the offensive line here so far during camp? They lost a couple guys from last year's squad, and a couple of new guys shuffling into that rotation.
I like it because everybody's different, especially when you look at the body types, how they are as football players, how they set and run, how they are in pass, everything. It's so different, so you can get every different look. And that's the same thing for our D-line. We have so many different body types, so many different just statures, that everybody gets a different look, which means you get to work on everybody, which is nice because that's how you get better. You go against guys who are really good but might look different, might have different styles. Everybody gets better.
What have you noticed from John McCartan this fall camp? I feel like he kind of left a gap on the field last year, and it looks like he could be a problem enter the season.
Oh, he will be a problem for everybody else.
What do you like about, what does he bring to the game that makes him a problem? What do you notice?
Oh, I play next to him, so we cooperate, and that's a part of it. We're told to let go and help each other, and that's what happens. I don't know, today, we got there. We're helping each other, it's great.
You walked out on senior night last year. You could have walked. You did not. Sorry, I'm thinking of someone else. Go ahead. Go ahead, Nick.
Really, for the first time in Jonathan's tenure, we're starting to hear Oregon State Pac-12 championship game. How would you make a case that this team is ready for that step?
I think we're going there. I really think, especially coming in out of last year, being able to feel like how it is to go to a bowl game and what it requires, and just feeling throughout winter and throughout spring to just really see the guys coming together, really see guys working for each other and not for themselves. Maybe it's more of a mentality that has been seen before, but right now we're really working for each other, with each other to a common goal that has not been there before.
Did you feel like you guys were all on the same page last year, or do you feel like you're a little bit better, a little more suited this year?
We're better suited this year.
In what
Absolutely.
Way? In what way?
More leaders. We have leaders in every room. We have more player-led. Absolutely. We have more unity. Everybody knows each other more. There's more of a camaraderie in the locker room as well, like on the field. It's not this like, oh, you guys are you and we just do us. It's everybody interacting with everybody. Receivers, D-line, O-line, DBs, everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
Last couple of days, starting to do some hitting. Defensive players, you like these practices better? Do you think they're more helpful for you? With some contact?
The line kind of hit every day, unless we don't have spiders on. So as long as we got shoulder pads and a helmet, we hit every day. The only difference between like what we have now, where we don't have any leg pads, is no cut blocks. That's the only difference. Otherwise, it's full go on in the interior anyway. So
you guys have been going up against each other for time after time, since spring. How excited are you to face a different team, new competition?
Of course, you're always excited to play a game. It happens every year. You get to see the same guys, but you get to work like we talked about earlier with the different statures of guys. It's nice to see it, but we're also so prepared because we have every type of guy on our O-line, especially as a D-lineman. Of course you want to hit somebody else, of course. But it's still like, this is where we get better. So everybody respects this, what we do now, and being able to then go out and hit somebody else, of course it feels a lot better because it's a little extra.